Bron got to let Bronny be a man.
Ryan Clark says LeBron James has to let Bronny be a man. Check it out. We all saw LeBron James go at Stephen A. Smith. Well, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's discussing it. Even Ryan Clark in the Pivot podcast. Ryan Clark had a strong stance saying LeBron has to let Bronny be a man. Check it out.
You guys are correct, man. One, I would never compare myself to LeBron James and what he's accomplished, the stress and the critique that's come along with being who he is, right? That's a different level of scrutiny and expectations that he's had as opposed to other athletes. And I do understand the father part though, right? Because I got 3 babies. Like, I'll kill for mine. More importantly, I'll die for them. And so I understand wanting to protect them. And Stephen A. said that wasn't LeBron James, the athlete. That was LeBron James, the father. But what I say there is you got to separate that, right? One of Pop's famous lines on Friday was, "No, baby, let him be a man." Bron got to let Bronny be a man. The first thing Jordan told me when he saw that, because we were together, he said, "Pop, I'd lose my shit." He said, if I did that, if someone was talking about him and I did what LeBron James did, he would lose it. He said, you got to let me be a man. And I've done that with Jordan in high school. I've done that with Jordan in college. And I'm not saying that he's where LeBron is, but LeBron did what he needed to do. But what about Bronny James? Think about what LeBron is saying, right? And I agree with this. Bronny James, for a 55th overall pick, for a guy who's played well in the G League and been on the bench and got, some minutes in the NBA, he is more negatively critiqued and analyzed than any player who would be picked in that position that does the job the way that he does it. But he's also praised more. He's also been drafted in a place that his resume probably didn't say he should have been drafted in. He's also benefited in NIL when he only averaged 4 points a game. He has marketing and commercials and publicity and followings and get paid away from the court more than Mac McClung, who then led the G League in scoring and won the dunk contest 3 times because you're LeBron James's son. So what does it do to that narrative now? Right? How does LeBron running up on Stephen A. help the narrative? It doesn't. Because the narrative was he's there because of you. He was drafted in the place he wasn't supposed to be because of you. Now, all of a sudden, we can't talk about him either. Now, imagine if LeVar Ball runs up on Stephen A. Imagine if T. Morant runs up on Stephen A. How classless we would say they are. How immature we would say they are. LeBron James is a father doing the same thing for a professional basketball player. And I get it. I 100% get it, man. Sometimes somebody does something and it's on site. Stephen A. say, why you didn't call me? Mav got my number, right? He said, Rich got my number. Because LeBron James saw him and LeBron James wanted to make that point. He wanted to show the world. He wanted to show Stephen A. And he probably wanted to show Bronny, bro, I got you. And I'll do it publicly so everybody sees it. The problem is this. You ain't run up on Skip all them years he was talking about you. You ain't run up on everybody else all that time he was talking about you. And if you're going to run up on everybody that says Bronny James didn't deserve to be drafted where he was drafted at, you're going to have to do a whole lot of damn fighting. LeBron James, more than any athlete I've ever seen, has shown a poise and composure when people are talking about him negatively like I've never seen. He's truly been an example to every athlete in the world who's harshly critiqued, to his son. But now what you've told your son is, even though I wasn't above reproach, even though no athlete that's ever played the game was above criticism, you are. And I showed you that by checking somebody because I felt like they talked about you. And that's, to me, where you got to separate father and you got to separate teammate. Because now, if I'm Bronny James, I know my dad loves me, right? But I hope, because LeBron James is a great dad, that he asks Bronny, are you okay with this? Because this is going to reflect on you more than it's going to reflect on me.
Now, I think Ryan Clark makes a lot of valid points, right? Because a lot of people have been talking about, LeBron versus Stephen A versus LeBron. Well, what about Bronny James? Because although you may think you did a good job as a father, now everybody's looking at Bronny James like, can we talk about him? I mean, if you look at my last video, I'm not an ESPN commentator, but if you look at my last video, you got people telling me I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm just stating the facts. There's a cult-like following behind Bronny James, and Bronny James is just sitting back chilling. He's a professional NBA player. He don't need me to take up for him. He don't need you to take up for him. Does he need his father to take up for him? I don't know. Since this clip has come out, there's been two sides, it seems like. There are some people who are saying Ryan Clark is friends of Stephen A. Smith. Of course he's going to say this. And then there's another side that says, hey, Ryan Clark, his son is playing for a popular brand like Notre Dame. So he kind of understands what LeBron's going through. But you guys got to let me know what you think in the comments. Ryan Clark with a strong stance on this, but I want to know what you guys think. I'm out. Peace.